In the dense lowlands of southern Costa Rica, scattered through banana plantations and buried in the earth, lie hundreds of enormous stone spheres. Some are no bigger than an orange. Others are taller than a grown man and weigh more than 15 tons. What unites them is their shape, smooth, symmetrical, and astonishingly close to perfectly round. No one wrote down who made them. No one recorded why. And nearly 1,000 years after they were shaped, the stone spheres of Costa Rica remain one of the most quietly baffling mysteries in all of archaeology. The modern world stumbled onto them almost by accident. In the 1930s, the United Fruit Company was clearing dense jungle in the Diquís Delta to plant banana fields. As workers hacked through the undergrowth and dragged away the soil, they began uncovering strange objects, massive, rounded stones half swallowed by the ground. At first, the laborers assumed they were natural boulders. But as more emerged, the truth became impossible to ignore. These stones were too round, too deliberate, too consistent to be an accident of nature. As archaeologists began to study them, the scale of the discovery grew. More than 300 spheres have now been documented, and their craftsmanship is remarkable. Many are round to within a couple of centimeters across their entire surface, a level of precision that seems to defy the simple stone tools available to the people who made them. They were carved from granodiorite, a hard, igneous rock, and their surfaces were ground and polished until they gleamed. To this day, exactly how such uniform roundness was achieved by hand remains a subject of debate. But almost as soon as they were found, the spheres began to disappear. A rumor spread that gold was hidden inside them. Treasure hunters attacked the stones with drills and dynamite, blasting them apart in search of riches that never existed. Not a single sphere ever contained gold. Countless were destroyed for nothing. Others were hauled away to decorate gardens, plazas, and the lawns of government buildings, torn from the exact spots where their makers had placed them. In doing so, an irreplaceable clue vanished, because the way the spheres were originally arranged may have held the key to their meaning. So who created them? The spheres are credited to the Diquis culture, an indigenous society that flourished in the region between roughly 700 and 1500 AD, before the arrival of the Spanish. They were skilled farmers, potters, and metalworkers who lived in organized villages. Yet when Spanish colonizers arrived, this civilization collapsed and its knowledge was lost. The people who could have explained the spheres were gone, leaving behind only the silent stones and no written language to speak for them. The physical challenge alone is staggering. The stone used for the largest spheres doesn't occur near where they were found. That means the raw rock had to be quarried in the mountains and transported for miles, some of it possibly floated down rivers, before it was ever shaped. Then the true work began. Using harder hammerstones, the makers would have pounded and pecked away at the block, slowly grinding it toward a sphere, checking it against templates and chords, polishing it smooth. A single large sphere may have taken months of patient, painstaking labor. The deeper mystery isn't how, but why. What could possibly justify that enormous effort? Early researchers who found spheres still in their original positions reported something intriguing: they weren't placed at random. Some sat in straight lines. Others formed curves, triangles, or clustered groupings near the ruins of important buildings and burial sites. To some, this suggested the arrangements carried meaning, perhaps pointing to something in the sky or marking the status of those who lived nearby. That has fueled one of the leading theories, that the spheres were astronomical. Could the lines of stones have pointed toward the rising sun, the movement of stars, or the changing seasons that governed planting and harvest? It's a compelling idea for an agricultural people. But there's a serious problem. Because so many spheres were dragged away before archaeologists could record where they stood, the original patterns are now almost impossible to reconstruct. The very evidence needed to prove an astronomical purpose was scattered by treasure hunters and collectors. Other explanations are more down to earth. Some archaeologists believe the spheres were symbols of power and rank. A chief who could command the labor to produce a perfect 15-ton sphere was displaying wealth and authority in a form that could never be faked. Lined up outside his home, the stones may have announced his importance to everyone who approached. Others suggest they marked territory, served in ceremonies, or represented the sun and cosmos in a belief system we no longer understand. Inevitably, the spheres have also drawn wilder claims. Some have linked them to the lost city of Atlantis, to advanced ancient technologies, even to visitors from the stars, insisting that no ordinary people could have made shapes so perfect. But archaeology tells a different and, in its own way, more impressive story. The precision isn't beyond human ability. It's a testament to proof of patience, skill, and organization that we too easily underestimate in ancient societies. Today, efforts are finally underway to protect what remains. In 2014, for sites in the Diquís Delta where spheres still rest in their original locations were declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Archaeologists guard these untouched clusters carefully, studying the ground around them for any surviving hint of pattern or purpose. Each undisturbed sphere is a fragile piece of a puzzle that so many others have already destroyed. And so the stones sit in silence, as they have for 1,000 years, perfect, patient, and unexplained. We know roughly who shaped them and roughly when. We can guess at how. But the one thing the makers never left us was the answer to why. Every sphere is a question carved in stone by hands that expected us to understand, and until we do, the perfect orbs of Costa Rica will keep their secret in the quiet green heart of the jungle.